Ahmed and I, we spend a lot of time speaking about Imam Ghazali and the Ihya Ulumuddin, and whenever we
Well,
take
you spend a lot of time talking about him, and I go, interesting. Yeah, that's a good point.
and we'd have this thing. I would always, as we were walking, and Ahmed would bring a point up. I'd be like, you know what he says? You know what the Sheikh says?
Yeah,
And Ahmed would know that it's a reference to Sidi
yeah,
Abu Hamid al-Ghazali. And, actually, he speaks about this concepts of, being addictions. And he talks about during his time in Iraq that there were people that would go out into the middle of the desert at the hottest point of the day just to play with pigeons. And
mm,
he's like, they'd be thirsty, they're getting sunburn, but they're finding this pleasure in playing with these pigeons and training
right.
these pigeons what to do. And he said, just like they learned behaviorally to deal with the pain of the sun at the zenith of it in the middle of the desert, we can learn how to go through that same pain process initially to detach from those attachments and attach ourselves to things that are better for us, but we'll only realize after a bit of time of getting used to it about that routine concept.
And all of this, delayed gratification, and it's so hard. It really is so hard. That's why the things that I mentioned are meant to reduce the friction.
Right.
When you have a goal, you're like, okay, or you've registered for something, or you have let's say your best friends all rent, from college or high school, rented a beach house in the summer. Like, okay, I had to get in shape. You know what
Right.
I mean? So
Yeah.
you create this urgency that forces you to change behavior. But having the person that you're paying for, ideally,
Yeah.
that that person is holding you accountable. It allows you having, to borrow from one of your terms, genuine sohbah
Right.
helps you overcome a lot of this stuff. So I remember one time I told you this one specific workout. Remember, you can carry the boy. You remember?
My wife
And
brought it up
I
to
was
me.
like, so in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave the gym. I want you to do that workout. But then I was like, there's no way he's gonna do it. He's gonna spend 5 minutes on the treadmill. I know it's a very difficult 1 hour workout.
Yeah.
He's not gonna do it. So I was like, I literally stood there for an hour, and I was like, I don't trust you,
Yeah.
because I know you're about to go to the next level, and there is like Sheikh Mukhtar says, when you go from state to state, there's a lot of turbulence, and the
Yeah.
easiest way out of the pain is to go back down. And so
Yes.
I was like, okay, he's about to go to step level now, like, and most likely he's not going to do it. So I physically stayed there. And so having people in your life that are invested in your goal helps you overcome yourself. Like, I don't believe in this notion of like white knuckling things and like overcome yourself in hustle culture and you wake up by yourself. And you know I believe that it takes multiple, it takes sohbah to help you get to that next level.
Yeah, I'll be very honest with you. I think that if you were not there by my side when I was carrying that, I think it was like 22 pounds on my back, or I don't even know what, 40,
22 kilos,
22 kilos. Oh yeah. Oh,
50
okay.
pounds.
I'm thinking 50 pounds. Ahmed, what were you doing to me, man?
50
Allah,
pounds on
salli
a
ala
10
Nabi.
degree incline.
See what this guy did to me, Sajjad? Put 50 pounds on my back. Unbelievable. But I'll tell you this, if you were not there, I would have gotten off. Like, I would have waited for you to leave McFit, and then like 10 minutes later, been like, yep, went great. And I remember one time you put me on the treadmill, and this was actually really funny, but it was a great learning lesson for me because Ahmed, usually him and I are very, we have banter between each other. We joke, we make fun of each other all the time. And you put the speed on something, I don't know what it was, and you went to go do your workout, and I was getting really tired, so I put the speed down. And you came and you checked in on me, and you said, "What happened to the speed?" And I was like, "Oh, I just pulled it down." And you, like, got really serious. It was like a Paddington Bear sort of, when he's in the jail, and he looks at the guy, he's like, "Don't you ever do that again. Don't ever speak about my Aunt Lucy again." I was like, "Oh my god." I was so scared, you know? But that accountability, it really helped me, and so it's like you're saying, like, even in the spiritual realm, like, the suhbah, the companionship, when we have friends, Ahmed, who have intentionality behind their lives, they have purpose. Like, we're not
Yeah.
just waking up just trying to figure out what we're doing every day. We say, no, we want to be people who are growing together spiritually in the way of Allah and His Messenger, alayhi salatu wasalam, and we have these principles that we're working with, and we also want to get in physical shape. and you're together, that accountability and that structure produces wonders.
Exactly. I remember the etikaf that we did together.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have made it past day 3 if it wasn't for you and there are other people. So these are again universal principles. Like when you're doing hard things, never do them alone.
Mm,
Find your tribe. Find your tribe, find your mentors, whether they're in the spiritual realm or the physical realm. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is doing things alone. Like I run this like experiment in like in my professional world, just to highlight that. So I'll tell people, how long do you think you can do a plank for?
mm.
So this is in a business context. Everyone always has the same answer. 1 minute. And these people who've never planked before. But then I tell the whole room, okay, you're gonna plank now. What time do you think people reach?
Wow. I think the inertia, maybe a minute and a half.
2 minutes. Always about 2 minutes.
Wow.
And so there's something about being together that we've lost in the age of like being WhatsApp Muslims. Like we're all great friends on WhatsApp. It's just a bunch of crap.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish they would replace the name with "What's crap."
No,
Can I?
it's true.
Can I say that word on the Medina?
Don't go beyond that
Yeah,
limit.
okay. It just
Yeah,
actually came to my heart. Yeah, but real, genuine, and that's what made Istanbul special. Wasn't that it wasn't that Captain Pasha really, as much as like the messiness of like us living together,
yeah.
really, as opposed to hey, love you. You're in my dua.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just like
yeah.
really like you have to see the person and interact. And hey, why didn't you? I haven't seen you at Fajr. I haven't seen you in this. I haven't seen you at that. It's just so missing now.
Yeah, Ahmed, I even say even in our own communities here in the States, like most interactions that people have with each other, they're at the fundraising dinner at the masjid, or
Yeah,
they pass by and they see each other at the mosque. So you're interacting in a very beautiful place, but it's still a very
yeah,
sterile environment that's there. You know, the Sahaba, they lived together in the nitty gritty. Like they got upset at each other. One guy said this about the other. And so they had to learn how to collectively process that and still, get through on the other side as very close friends and companions. And,
100%. Yeah.
and I feel like, yeah, just to your point, like it's all like, oh, he's my best friend. Like, what do you mean he's your best friend? Like,
And so that's having like fostering those real relationships in your life help you achieve these more difficult goals. Like, so again, it's the first thing is to create the goal, register, then hire somebody and find your tribe.
yeah,
Like really find your tribe that because the famous quote, you're the average of the 5 people you spend most time with.
yeah, yeah,
And I thought I was special until I came to Istanbul. I'm like, wow, I'm a loser. Like, these are special people, right? And you find your tribe that elevates you. Uh, and then the last thing I recommend to people is like, don't change too much. Don't attempt to change too many behaviors
mm,
because you become overwhelmed by
yeah.
the sheer number of behavior changes.